Hello everyone, it's Rita here, and today is Sunday Slow Stitching with Rita, and thank you for stopping by my channel and watching. I was kind of overwhelmed with the last video. I did not realize I was going to get so many views, and I don't know if those people stayed or they moved on, but whatever, it was fun and I enjoyed sharing my work with you. So today I'm gonna get back to making the little boxes like I have here. This one is going to be a larger one. It's I think I said 4 in, it's 5 inches, 5 inches by 5 inches, and that one will be something of this size. I hope I'm in screen there because I've got my camera pretty low so that you can see what I'm stitching. These little boxes hold all my stuff, like little pieces of lace and trim. It holds my aughts, which is leftover threads. And these, eventually you can use these to make like little beads out of them. You can use it for stuffing different pieces of work that you do. Or you can, like this one is pretty long, I can actually use this piece and do a little bit of stitching with it. So it's not long enough for my cross stitch because then I'd have to change threads constantly, but for this it might be fine. And then this one has little bits in it. I had just showed you how to cut these out of a doily that I got last week. And I have butterflies that I that I print with my printer onto fabric. And if there's anything you see that you want more explanation on, let me know, because then I can probably try to show you how to do that. These are little hunks that I took out of a doily that was made. I do love this, and I just not sure where I can find a spot for it yet. So that's what I was doing. I was trying to find some things to put on these before we sew them together. The flower ones that I printed, like this one here was a red flower, but these pink ones don't seem to go well with this particular color scheme that I've chosen. And I will tell you too that most of the vintage embroideries are not vivid colors like red and that. They're more, I don't know, they're pink, they're blue, they're lavender. They're not anything bright. So sometimes you can't find vintage pieces to put on whatever it is that you're working on. But this one here was a nice color. It would introduce some blue to this. And I think I had it going this way. So here I put this doily on the side. This one we'd already put in the background. Then I thought, well, I'd like to use this flower, but I don't want to cut it all away. So maybe I'll put a couple of leaves on the side and leave it square. It's just, you know, it'd be fine that way. Or I could have taken and made my couple leaves, and I could have put this circle here and stitched around that and look like a flower. So I kind of like that too. Now I'm like in between. But I thought this was kind of different. I could do this anytime. So anyway, and then I mounted these on here with my safety pins so that I don't stick my fingers if I have to be stitching through them. But I'm probably going to have to remove most of this because I still need to stitch down the background. I went through on this particular one and I started stitching the background. If you can see here, I made some X shapes. Here I did a little seed stitching because I had leftover thread, and here I just stitched down this little piece because I had leftover thread. And in here I was making daisies, lazy daisies, which is like a chain stitch. So I can show you how to do that. I went around here and I sewed this all down. And that's because I wanted to show you on the camera how. But I wouldn't have put this on yet normally. I would have stitched more in here before I actually put this down. So then when we did the basting stitches, see the little white dots on here? So I'm not crazy about those against that red. So that's why we have these basting stitches. So now all I have to do is pull them out like so in this area. Now see, those white dots are gone, but it's stitched down now, so it's okay to take those out. So let me just get a couple more here. You just go back and clip it and pull it out if you can. It takes a minute to get it. Whoops. So I hope everybody's doing well, and like I said, I'm just going to come on and stitch what I'm working on, and I don't know about new projects. I haven't really thought about it, but there's a lot of videos out there on slow stitching, and you can find, all you have to do is type in slow stitching on your search, YouTube search, and tons of it will come up. So I watch a few. I don't really know. I know one of them is named Christine, but I don't really pay attention to what her channel is. So if I go on, I can, I don't know if, yeah, maybe I can get them out this way too. I just don't really want those stitches showing because I need something different to get in here and pull them out. End of my scissors don't work so well. And this is slow stitching, so it takes time. But I mean, when you're doing this on a regular, I didn't keep working on it because I wanted to share it on camera. But I wish I had a way to stitch in my chair and just do a little bits here and there to show you, you know, put it all together in one video, but I haven't quite figured out how I can do that yet. Okay, there's one little white spot there that's, okay, that's gone. There's one here. Anyway, it'll probably be gone and totally invisible. But see, now it looks a little better. I like it without the little white dots. There's a couple little ones there. Okay, and now I don't remember if I showed you how to do the seed stitch, but that's what that is. Let me get, I'm just going to use some of this thread, and I'll show you what I was doing on this piece. I don't have good glasses in here. The thread. And this needle is smaller. I changed because when I have more time, I can thread that. Let me get a bigger eye. This one's pretty good. It's kind of a thick needle though. Oh, come on. Be kind. Sometimes it just doesn't. There. Okay. So I'm stitching this with some red right now. And so this is the seed stitch, and basically all it is coming up and then just go back right down. And you can do this in one motion. So you can bring it up and then just go across, bring it up over here, wherever you want. Go back down again and bring it back up again. Now these are pretty big. I usually make really tiny seed stitch. But this way you can make it more random than poking it in and out. You don't want to cross over another stitch if you can help it. So if I go down, it's hard to see. If I go down that way, I can come over here and there's a stitch there. And then go down here and come up through these. Well, up, let's go farther then. Here. And then go back down in here. So that makes the seed stitch. And it's just random. You just randomly do that. And then on here, I just took my straight stitches. So now what I'm gonna do is I wanna go around. I want to go around this. So I'm going to come up, go down, and come up about 1/8 of an inch away, maybe 1/4 of an inch, back down, come straight back up. And you can do this with a stab stitch too. You can go down and come back up and go back down. And these stitches do not have to be even. That one was really short. It's like you get in a rhythm. And that one's kind of wide. I don't know. I think the bigger my needle is, the bigger distance I stitch. So I'm just gonna go down the edges here, because we want to sew the raw edges down. Can everybody see me? I hope I'm sewing in camera. I'm going to go in this corner here and get a little hunk of that corner. And don't pull too tight, because it will start puckering and it will shrink, you know, the whole thing. And eventually I want them all to shrink down to about the same size if I can. Okay, I'll just keep, gosh, I can't even go straight. All right, well, it's a good thing it's slow stitching. And I like it because of that there's no perfection to it. If you're not perfect, it's okay. I mean, there's going to be times, I'm going to knot that off because I won't have enough room. There will be times that I'm just going to take this back through and back through the back. It's not going to go anywhere. To take, I'm sorry about my hands. I ran into a door jamb and I don't know where those came from. I tell you, I can't touch anything without getting bruised. And I am taking medicine for it that people have told me about. And so, I mean, like biotin and vitamin D, I'm on all that. I think it's helping a little bit, but it doesn't stop the bruising. And I talked to my doctor about it too, and she said just the skin is just so thin and the blood vessels break very easily as you get older. And I keep as getting older. I'm not old yet. I'm just working on it. No, I'm old. So let's keep going around it. And I can't pause my video and keep stitching around this because I'm just going to keep going around this piece also. Because my other camera is not my other phone is not working. I fully charged it yesterday to check it out because I thought maybe it was the plug, and it charged up really fast, and I think, oh good, this is the problem. I'll have to use a different block, you know, to see. Now how that went really stupid. I don't really like that, so I'm going to pull it out. I don't know why it went so crooked. So I was so excited that it did that, and then a few minutes later I checked the phone to see if it lost any battery, and it was back down to 30% in just a few minutes. And then this morning I checked it and it's totally off. I don't know why I'm getting slants. Well, I know why, because you really do. This is a tip here. You really need to go straight down where your stitch was. In other words, if you take and go down a little bit more, it's going to come up and make a slanted stitch. So let me do this a little bit here. I'll try to be more careful. I'm just not really being careful. So you see how the stitch stays where you put it, if you make sure that it's right, directly straight across. Okay, so now I have thread left, so let me do something else. Now in here I did these petals, and I did a lazy daisy stitch. So they didn't come out very full because the petals are larger than what the stitch worked out. So what I thought I would do is come back in with I would come back in with another lazy daisy stitch at these points. So for that, you just come up from the back, and then you're going to put your needle back into where you came up, or right near it. And I say that too because otherwise you're going to have if you go too far away, you're going to have a gap. I probably should have another needle and thread so I can show you what I'm talking about. So you want it to be as close as you can get to this, where you pulled it down. Then you gently pull on it. Don't go tight, because if you go tight, you lose your little shape there. See, so then I'll go back and come up in this one. The next ones that are, and then you always make sure your thread is swirled around that way, so when you come back up this way, this thread is behind. Okay, see how it's behind there. Pull it up gently, and then go right back in at the top, and that forms the lazy daisy. And I hate this needle. Okay, so let's come up in the next one and go back down as close as you can. And I'm going to, I gotta find a different needle. I can't work with this one. So I'm gonna come up like in this little spot there and make another lazy daisy. Okay, let me see if I have a different needle. The problem is threading needles. I mean, I like sharp needles, but I also like ones that I can thread. Oh. have to lick it. I cannot see this. Okay. See, it barely wants to fit in there. It's really too tight, but I need a smaller needle to work with. I'm trying to feel where that, okay, right there. And up. Come up there. And make a stitch. It's a beautiful day out today. It's like spring. I mean, real spring. There's no wind. There's only puffy clouds in the sky. That one doesn't look all that great, but it doesn't matter. And if you wanted to, you don't even have to. I've already started this Lazy Daisy stuff, but if you want to, you could just, I'll just do a little bit here. You can go straight down. You can come back to the bottom. I can't see it. Okay. And then you can just go straight back up again and follow the pattern. That would be kind of like a satin stitch, I would call it. So you just keep going like that. And just fill in where you didn't stitch before. Can you see that? I hope. So those 3 stitches right there are a satin stitch. And you can fill in your whole flower that way if you want. Or you don't have to fill it in at all if you don't want. So I will come back and work on that whoops. And you're not going to see the back of this, so if you got a loop, it's okay. All right, so that's to do the Lazy Daisies around there, or you can do, like I said, a satin stitch. Now here, I would do down these stems. I'm thinking I would do a stem stitch. I don't know if I can thread this needle. Nope. I try to leave thread in it so I know that that is one that this particular size thread, which is a 8. This is a size 8 pearl cotton. Or in the UK and Australia, it's called pearly cotton. And I'll tell you, the Australians are very good at this. They do some beautiful things, beautiful work. Okay, so now here, I thought, well, I'll come down here and just follow one of these stems. So I'm going to come up just a little bit below that little bud there. Come straight up. And then turn my work this way, and then I'm going to go up to where the bud starts, and then go past this one, just about the same distance from each other. Pull that up. Then I'm going to go in between this stitch, go through and past the one that I just made, and pull the stitch. Okay, and that makes a stem stitch. So you go back down, equal distance. I do anyway. I don't know if other people do or not. And then pull it down. Go back down in between that stitch. next to it, not between it, but the spacing in between. And then just keep going. Now this one, it's not showing up really very strong as far as color. It's pretty close to the same color. Hold on. It's too close to the same color again. Find it. Okay. I watch slow stitchers. I don't really watch them. I listen to them. They're kind of like, you know, soothing when they're talking about what they're doing. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's just a stem stitch, and it just highlights that stem that's sticking out. And then I would probably go down here, so I have a little bit left. I usually start up a little bit of the stem so that I can go back down in this spot here and back up and then down in between the stitch. And there's YouTube videos. If you know the name of the stitch you want to do, just type it in and say, you know, stem stitch, and you can watch exactly how to do it. And they'll do it on a simple, you know, frame, so you can see exactly what they're doing. I don't know what I did there, but I wish I'd brought my other glasses in. Let me check. Maybe these glasses are too... Sometimes I put glasses on and they're too strong. Nope, that's not strong enough, but I can see. So this one, I really made the stitch way too big. That's the problem. I'm just going to go back down. It's going to make a little knot there, but I don't care. You can't see it, because you're not going to be able to get right back down into the same hole, especially when you have layers of fabric and batting behind. Okay. Just going to go till I run out of thread here. Yeah, there's a bud there, so I'll stop right there. And go back down in here. Okay, I'm not going to rethread that so I can go through it again. Okay, so that is your stem stitch. A running stitch I rarely ever use because it just doesn't work well for me. So the next thing I'll show you here is we'll do French knots. So I think I could do this yellow, because if you see here, I kind of added in yellow to this one because it just seemed like it worked. So if I add a little bit of yellow here and a little yellow maybe in here somewhere, this has, you know, a little bit of light yellow flowers. I don't know if I'm putting it like that yet. I put things down and then I go back and change them. Okay, let's do a French knot. And I would show you a colonial knot, but I can never remember how to do it, so I have to watch YouTube to do it. And colonial knot is kind of nice because it's just one knot. You don't really have a problem getting it twisted up or anything. But a French knot, you just come up where you want your knot to be. I think I'll just do I'm going to go around the little circle. So I'm going to come up. I'm going to take my thumb and I'm going to take this and hold on to this, and then I'm going to twist it around 2 times. Just go back 2 times, then stab it down, but you have to hold on to your thread over here until the very last minute, and then slowly bring it down. For some reason that is not sitting right. Okay. 1, 2, bring it down. Make sure your thread is wound up, you know, pretty tight. And if you don't get it set in there the way you would like, just stitch over it, because sometimes it'll get a lump on you. I mean, the best of stitchers can have that. If it's like, if you have it too loose. And if it is, just stitch it down. See that one? I didn't do it right. And sometimes you can work it and get it in there, but other times you can't. So what I do is come back up very close to that. And then I'll go on this side of this loop, or wherever you can fit your thread, and just come down and tighten that up so it's not noticeable, or as noticeable. I spend so much time rethreading. All right, so now I'm going to pop over to here, and as far as distance go across, I don't mind going an inch or so across. This one is like 1.5 inches across. That might have been a little too far, only because you can go across the whole thing if you want to. I don't, because I find that sometimes they get tangled up back there, and or you're stitching over other threads. Now on this one, I only put 4 stitches, just because that's kind of what fit. Now see, that one was kind of loose, so I just had to make sure I tightened it up before I pulled through the string. And I usually use a pillow on my lap. Come on. I put a pillow on my lap. I should have got my pillow. Yeah, it's not here. I have a little tiny one that I use if I'm doing French knots here. But I poke it into the pillow, and that, when I poke it into the pillow, it holds the needle firm while I'm fiddling with the top part. Okay, so this one needs another one. You can wrap around this thread as many times as you want. It makes your French knot just bigger. Okay? So, I don't know, maybe I should have put another one in here. I don't think I have enough thread to get over there. I wished I had my paws on my camera so I could run and get my other glasses. See, that's why I have the pillow, because see here where we've got all this built up threads. Oh, That was a little too short. Now, let me see if I can try it again. 1, 2. I'm like a diehard, you know, if there's a possible something I can do with that last little bit of thread, I'd try to do it. All right, so got another one there, but it's not very good. And you're working with, if you're working with this kind of thread, this is number 8, pearl thread, pearl cotton. I use it because it shows up really well and you don't have to make a lot of stitches. If you're using something finer, like regular sewing thread or even, you know, a couple strands of floss, then you have to work more to get the desired amount that you need. Okay, so I'll have to come back and stitch in here, and right here this piece needs a piece of lace on this side. Let me see if I have something I can stitch in there. All my pieces here are so big. Just, I hate to cut them. There's a smaller one. There's one that's tiny. Now, I'm going to be sewing this box together like this, all the way down here. So I don't want to put my lace out this way because it's going to be sewn down. So I'm going to bring the lace in this way. And I'll leave it just a little bit off of the edge. But this will get sewed together like so. Okay. So I'm gonna try to line that up a little bit. Safety pin in there. I have these safety pins. And I use safety pins. I told you in the last video, I believe, that I don't like to stick my fingers with straight pins. And this way I can sew this and get it attached and then remove the pins. So I'm going to get, I think I'm going to just use like a 12 weight cotton. So usually there's 5, 8, and 12 weight, and then it goes into a different type of, at least I think it's a very, fine. It's like 22 weight. So the lower the number, the bigger the thread. So like 5 is thicker than 8, and 8 is thicker than 12. So I'm just going to do a little running stitch across here to hold this lace down. And you could use a different color if you wanted to, but when it comes to lace, I don't really like to. Here I'm worried about straight pins, and now I'm hitting the safety pins. I like to keep the whole lace look. If you change and put a different color there, you're going to lose that, I think. It just depends. Just depends. You can do whatever you want. I still have no idea what I'm doing with this one. I mean, I may keep adding, and I do. I add and add. Okay. Something like that. This is throwing me off. This. Okay, so now I'm going to go back. I think I'll just go back on this outer edge. Normally I would not go across the top. I would get it back down and do it on the back. But I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to do a running stitch, because you can't really even see that it's on here. And I would not run out and buy a bunch of these colored threads. I bought some pretty expensive ones when I started to do this, because I've always wanted to do things by Sue Spargo, but I just honestly could not afford the prices of her threads and specialty things and all that. So I kind of just gave up, because she works with wool too, and so that was costly. And I get the same satisfaction out of this that I did with her work. Those stitches might be a little too big, but I don't care. All right, so now I've got this thread left. Oh my gosh, I keep undoing it. Keep on threading. I've got stain on my fingers because I was already working on something for a journal. So what I'm going to do is inside here, I want to have a little bit of dimension. So inside here, I'm going to do the little seed stitch. And I want to do pretty tiny ones in here. I'm just going to stab it. Otherwise, I might not be able to bite the fabric small enough. So you just go one way, go the next way. Maybe a couple going that way. Or you can do a double seed stitch. You can do a triangle shape, which are cute. I like that, really. It looks good. I have to get over here and get a little bit more. But see, the little tiny ones, I think makes like these kind of things, like if you're using a embroidery piece and you stitch it down like this on the inside of the embroidery design, it makes it pop out better. And this is mindless. I mean, you could just sit here and think about all kinds of things. We saw the coolest rainbow last night. It was just getting dark, about 6, I guess, and I took my granddaughter to McDonald's, and there was a rainbow in the very, very dark clouds, like a rain cloud. And I remember when I went to the hospital when her mom was delivering her, and we were trying to get to the hospital, and it was in Atlanta. And I was driving down the interstate, and the storm brewed up, and it came, I mean, it was torrential. I had to pull off of the interstate, because I couldn't see. It was like dark night. And after that, this rainbow came out, dark, in the dark sky, a beautiful rainbow. And I always said that's why she's the way she is. She was always a hard to handle child. She's better now, she's older, but you know, she would throw tantrum after tantrum. So, kind of really want one more stitch in there if I can get it. And I'm going to go, I'll finish this all up and then you guys will see. It looks pretty bad on the back, huh? Okay. So now you can just sit and think about what else you want to do. This to me does not look square, and that's because it's that piece of fabric that I did that way. I don't know. So it's just a little less than 5. And over here, it's a little more than 5. So that means I don't have enough stitches in here. So I kind of randomly, let's go back down here. Yeah, this is pretty raveled on that edge. This is 4 and about 5/8, I think. Or 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 and 5/8 right now. This one is about 4 and 5/8. This is about 4, closer to 4 1/4. Right? No, I lied. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 3/4. So see, as I go up, this is larger up in this area than it is down here. So I would probably go in here and do a few more stitches. And as you stitch in up area, it draws it in. Okay? So I feel like I need something here. I probably could do a button. If I could. Oh, that would. This button box here. Up too bright. That one is, I'm not sure if that's red or more pink. Clear button. I don't really have a button that are red-ish. That one doesn't really look too bad. This is just a minute amount of buttons I have. I thought I'd bring them in. Because I have a vintage ones here somewhere. So, I mean, I could do a grouping of vintage. I always like a group of vintage buttons anywhere. Could do that. Too white. Okay, so these are vintage. 1957, December 13th. 1957, I was 7 years old. Gosh. Oh, let's see, what tool do I have? I can get this staple out. Come on. I just wanted to audition it, basically. That's a little too gray. A little too gray. I'm going to put these little ones on, I think. I was thinking about behind it, though. But I just put lace. So this is too much, so I'm going to cut that off. And I might just put that there. Let's see. Now that doesn't look so bad there. Kind of like it. I could put red, sew it on with red. Okay. So let me get some of this red. Floss here. Guess that's my needle. Nope, this is my needle. Sound like somebody was here. It's so weird because I can hear when people drive in or slam their car doors next door, I can hear it, but on the opposite side where my driveway is, I can't hear somebody coming in. It's very strange. I'm gonna do this. Yes, right. Come on. Let's get in that first hole in. I'm sure if most of you know how to do a button, sew in. Just maybe 3 times on this one would be plenty. It's not like they're gonna button and unbutton it ever. Come on, there you go. Okay. Tie that off. Then I'll look and see how much time I've spent. Oh, this one is let me show you this knot again. This is called a knicker knot. Oh my gosh, too many strings back here. And what it is you just bring your needle up this way through your fabric, and then you wrap it around this way, and then you take your tail part, your other end of your thread, and wrap it this way, which makes it like a figure 8, and then just pull it through and it will make a knot. And all you need is one. If your thread's long enough. If your thread's too short, you can't do that. And I'm usually, my thread's always too short. Alrighty, so what else? What time? Oh my gosh, it's 54 minutes. Okay, so I guess I think I'll wait till I'm going to finish embellishing all of this that I've picked out. Here I've got a butterfly. This is a little piece of doily that I cut apart, and I may change my mind, but I kind of just thought it looked nice with the butterfly. And then this is just a strip of fabric that I found. So if I could take all of this off and I could totally do another hoe idea or another images of something, which right now I just don't have a lot of doily stuff cut. I need to get my doilies out. Okay, so those flowers go that way. So see, this one is just too pinkish. So now, since I had those flowers upside down, I might want to go this direction with it and maybe only use like this part of this, if that. And I usually find a place to put a piece of lace. Since we've been using this lace on the other parts of the box, it might be nice just to keep using these moffets that have come out of that. I don't know if I like this. So let's see, maybe put 3 buttons there and our butterfly if we want. And then I can sew a little flower right there, like on, which one did I do this? On this top here, I just made my own little flowers. I made some stem and I did French knots. Well, here I did a bullion stitch because I was practicing. And then here is another, these are all French knots around that. This is a wagon wheel, and those are fun to make. So I was just practicing different stitches. So that's what you can do, like here. Just bring up a little flower. Let's see, I know I need to go. I don't know if I can get this threaded. Maybe I can make one real quick. So what I do is, you can use any kind of marker that you can get off. So, but I use a friction pen. And so, for instance, I would probably come down here like this. Yeah, I think so. And then I'd probably make a stem here and a stem there, just simple. And that would be like a lazy daisy stitch. And then my flower, I might have it go back this way and put the flower right there. But I just marked that so that I can, oops, this is gonna all fall off. So I'm just gonna go up here. Keep forgetting I gotta start a little bit from where I want to start the stem stitch. Oops, hold on.